Imagine your phone lighting up right now. Just rapid-fire news alerts, one after another. Scientists are confirming it. Governments are issuing emergency statements. Space agencies are literally scrambling to hold press briefings. You're staring at a headline so absolutely massive, your brain kind of tries to dismiss it as a hoax. But it's not. We are jumping straight into the visceral scenario today that splits human history into a before and an after. The day we find life.
That initial few seconds of public shock and disbelief, it vanishes pretty quick. And it turns into this stark, incredibly awe-inspiring realization. For the very first time in our species' entire existence, this one simple fact changes the whole shebang. We are no longer alone in the universe. And that fact doesn't just, update the science books. It fundamentally rewrites human identity for all 8 billion of us, all at the exact same time.
Part 1. The day everything changes. So, the immediate aftermath is going to be pure chaos disguised as information. Scientists, astronomers, astrobiologists, they're going to completely flood the media trying to explain all the incoming data. But honestly, the public isn't going to care about the technical details right off the bat. We're just going to demand certainty. Because the second we realize we aren't alone, our minds instantly flood with these primal questions. First up, are they near? Like, is this happening right next door in our solar system, or is it light years away? And that is followed immediately by the ultimate threat assessment. Are they dangerous? Are they watching us right now? The survival instinct of our entire species basically kicks in at the exact same moment. Which lands us on the big one. Are we ready? As this massive wave of public panic washes over the globe, we'll have to rapidly pivot back to the actual scientific realities. Because answering whether we're ready or not depends entirely on exactly what kind of life we just discovered.
Part 2. Microbes versus alien minds.
See, there are two very diverging realities this discovery could take, and each one alters our understanding of the universe in completely different ways. On one hand, if we find microbial life, it proves biology just isn't some unique miracle confined to Earth. It means life can emerge anywhere under the right conditions, which makes the universe far less empty than we assumed. But intelligent life? That proves the universe is actually populated by minds that can communicate, judge, or even threaten. It's the difference between finding a biological curiosity and finding a cosmic neighbor. But let's be real, the first discovery is likely going to be quiet and highly scientific. We probably aren't talking about a movie-style invasion or a flying saucer landing in a city square. We're looking at potential sites like microbial life hiding under the ice of Europa or Enceladus, fossil evidence on Mars, or maybe atmospheric biosignatures on some distant exoplanet. The greatest discovery in human history will most likely be encoded in chemical processes.
Part 3. Science and global security.
Now, a quiet scientific discovery absolutely does not mean a quiet global reaction. The moment this news breaks, governments and international organizations like NASA and the ESA are going to react in the background with unprecedented speed. What starts as a scientific paper instantly turns into a high-stakes security puzzle. You've got scientists rushing to sequence, observe, and isolate the chemistry. Meanwhile, intelligence agencies are quietly assessing the strategic risk. Is this a technological threat? Could a signal actually be a trap? And politicians? They're desperately trying to keep the public calm while managing unprecedented diplomatic hurdles. Major powers will quietly compete for access to the data while publicly preaching global cooperation.
It really comes down to this core idea. First contact is not just a scientific milestone. It is a governance challenge for the entire species. Just imagine the immense pressure on defense ministries and civil authorities trying to manage a reality that literally 0 constitutions on Earth were built to handle.
Part 4. Spiritual and cultural shock.
Beyond the geopolitics and the raw data, this discovery is going to trigger a massive emotional earthquake across the entire globe. Think about the timeline here. Hour 1 is pure disbelief. Day 1 transitions into intense, insatiable curiosity. By week 1, as reality really sets in, we're going to see fear, that deeply unsettling feeling of losing our cosmic privacy. Yet by year 1, it turns to wonder. The realization that humanity isn't the final chapter of intelligence will be incredibly painful for a species that struggles to see beyond itself, but it's also going to be deeply liberating. And that forces a profound spiritual crisis, framed by a single question. What does our existence mean now? Believers and theologians are going to intensely debate if aliens have souls or how they even fit into existing moral orders. For millions of people, this isn't just a science headline. It fundamentally shakes human identity and our deep need for cosmic belonging.
Part 5.
First contact protocols. That huge shift in identity brings us to the practical possibilities and the intense debate over what humanity should actually do next if intelligent life is detected. Preparation is absolutely everything here. Step 1 is verification and sample return. Step 2 is where it gets incredibly complicated: translation and communication planning. I mean, who even gets to decide what humanity says to another intelligence? And step 3, biosecurity and global coordination. The risks of misunderstanding here are literal species-level threats. Think about it. A friendly gesture in human culture might be interpreted as an outright threat by an alien intelligence.
But we have to remember something absolutely crucial. Unknown does not mean hostile. Different does not mean dangerous. While militaries are obviously going to prudently stress test every possible risk because, hey, survival demands caution, humanity has got to resist that primal urge to immediately turn the unknown into an enemy. Too much fear isolates us, but too much trust makes us vulnerable. Finding that exact balance is going to be essential.
Part 6. A new cosmic perspective.
Here is the sobering twist, though. Despite all this cosmic wonder, discovering alien life will not magically fix Earth. Wars, inequality, climate crises, human suffering. The aliens are not going to save us from ourselves, simply by existing. Our terrestrial problems, yeah, they'll still be waiting right there for us the morning after the big announcement. If anything, realizing we're just one fragile experiment among many makes our own responsibility to survive even clearer.
And that leaves us with this final lingering thought for this explainer. If the sky answers back, who do we want to be? Discovering we're just one civilization among many demands that we finally take responsibility for our own choices. It's a truth powerful enough to change absolutely everything. We're no longer a species speaking into the dark and receiving silence. But what we do with that answer? Well, that is entirely up to us. Keep looking up, keep asking questions, and never stop imagining.